Expectations lead to unhappiness. That's true. Although maybe there's something a little more than that. Maybe not expectations themselves, but the combination of expectations with unequal outcomes of those expectations that therefore leads to unhappiness. And the thing is, you really have expectations with the equal outcome. It's so rare. Therefore, it is almost certain that expectations will lead to unhappiness. While that is true, I think that there are some things that you should expect for the purpose, not really for the purpose of the outcome, precisely. I don't think it's not quite that. Such as aiming aiming slightly higher than you think you can do. Aiming slightly higher than what you can achieve. Expecting more out of yourself. Will that lead to unhappiness? Yeah, it will. It will, because you're most likely going to fail. At the same time, it's that unhappiness tells you to strive to do better. And therefore, I think that's a net gain for some people. I will say not everybody can and will endure this, but a lot of people can. In fitness, there's a term called progressive overload. Over time, you get stronger, and therefore, you load more weight or tension on the muscle to get it even bigger and stronger. That's how you basically continuously gain muscle and get stronger. Although some may say there's a limit, some may say there's not a limit. Anyway, just progressing over time, getting better and better over time. I like to think of these above the bar expectations as these weights in fitness. Challenge yourself. And then if you don't meet the expectations, you try again. And then eventually you'll get it. And then you go on to a new challenge. When you get it, you level up, in a sense. If you don't get it, well, you gain some experience towards that level up. So it's still, you still get something out of it. So why should you expect more out of yourself? if expectations really lead to unhappiness. For one, this is to not spike your ego. It's to pressure yourself to be better. To put more on your shoulders, not less. Because you can handle it. You'll find a way. A man who has a why can bear any how. Yes. The better you become, the more you can see how you changed for the better. Years in the future, you'll be able to see. Years in the future, I improved. Just a year ago, I've improved as a person. I've become a better person. It often isn't what we did that we regret, but what we didn't do. And I think becoming a better person is that. It's that we didn't become as good of a person we could have. And we regret not becoming that person. With life, you don't stagnate if you stop improving or stop climbing. You lose your grip, and then you slowly slide down the hill. Because life moves ahead with or without you. And there was a quote in something, in a fairy tale, I think Alice in Wonderland, where she goes into the underworld, and then she meets the Red Queen? Something? But the premise was basically, down here you need to run with all your might to just stay in the same place. Yeah, that's true. Because time and tide wait for no man. Just gotta give you more quotes. So expect more out of yourself. But you should also expect more out of others. Put more responsibility on other people. Because once you have made yourself strong, it's time to help other people. Expect more out of them. And make them strong as well. The thing is, that will make you stronger at the same time. For example, don't do things for other people without a reason. Make other people responsible for their actions. Make sure that both you and others are held responsible. Reward the good behaviors, because that will lead to the greatest amount of change. People need responsibility in order to function. And without it, we wither. We become slow and rot away. So at the end of it all, you'll need to abandon your expectations. And this is your final challenge. To abandon all of what you have built for yourself. To go out into the chaos with no rules to guide you. You can say, or you can ask, why go through expanding expectations in the first place then? It's 1, to build yourself strong, and 2, to know your capabilities. Just because you abandon your expectations doesn't mean you become passive. Rather, you become indifferent to the outcome. You strive, but if you fail, you survive. It doesn't matter. You tried. What about other people? Same thing. Abandon it. Whether or not people meet your expectations doesn't really matter. They aren't here to serve you. That's not their purpose. Use expectations as ways to better other people, but know that you will leave them behind eventually. Leave the expectations behind, that is. It's a part of the journey. But I think it's necessary. Because you can't truly abandon your desire for something without having it. It's like telling a broke person, oh yeah, money's not important at all. Like, you can be broke and be happy. I don't think the broke person's going to abandon his desire to be rich until he experiences what it feels like to be overwhelmingly rich. Overwhelmingly rich. So, expand what you think is capable for yourself and others. Experience it. And then abandon it. Abandon the expectations of outcomes. Your new expectation is to just try. For yourself, for other people, to just try. That's the end point.